Today we're going to be making some Ethernet cables. First of all, obviously you're going to want to have your cable. Get as much as you need for the amount that you're going to be using. Always make sure to have a little extra though, just in case you might need to redo one of the ends. Next, you're going to need some of the RJ45 connectors. You can either do the easy ones or the regular ones. I prefer the regular ones because I never know how well my crimper tool is going to cut them. And obviously, you're going to need a crimper tool for those. These come in many different shapes and sizes. I prefer this one. And then you're going to need a cable stripper. This is to get the casing off of the RJ45 cable itself, or the RJ45, but the Ethernet cable itself. And lastly, if you want, you can also have a pair of scissors. I like to have a pair because I don't know how well the crimper tool can cut sometimes, and so I find the scissors are just more reliable. And so first, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of my cable off. I'm not going to need very much right now, so I'm going to keep my cable pretty short just for demonstration purposes. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our crimper tool and we're going to cut about that much off of the end of it. We're going to leave that much exposed. We don't need too much. Next, something I like to do is this little piece here that it's not really a cable, it's like a piece of almost like a piece of cloth. I usually take my scissors and I cut that off just because it gets in the way sometimes, and we don't need it. So I'll put that to the side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to separate all of our cables out, like so, and make sure to untwist them as well. I'll tell you the order in which you need to place them here in just a second. While you're doing this, it's good to make sure you get the cables as straight as possible. It just makes your life easier down the road. So now that I've got all of my little ends separated, I'm going to order them as follows: orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, and then lastly brown, white, and then brown. This is for using the B standard of doing this. I just find it easier to remember. There's also another standard that flips the orange and the green around so that it would be the orange surrounding the blue instead of the green. I just find this one easier for me, but you can use whichever one you prefer. Now you're going to straighten these as much as possible to make it easier on yourself as you're putting it in the connector itself. At this stage, it's really crucial to not get your colors mixed up. It can be really easy for the different wires to cross one another or change positions. Make sure you keep a nice sturdy grip on them so they don't do that. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to cut almost all of this off. I'm only going to leave a little bit on there right at the edge of my finger here. It's about all I'm going to leave, because when you stick it inside the connector, at the end here is where it's actually going to crimp down, and you want to make sure that it's on the gray part of your cable, or whatever color it can be. I know some of it can be blue as well. You want to make sure that this end of it is actually on the gray part so that the cable is actually securely in the connector. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut my loose ends off. And don't forget to properly dispose of your trash. You don't want to leave a mess behind you. Now that I've got all of them here, it's very easy to lose track of your colors. So double check real quick that you have all of your cables in the correct spots. And then now what we're going to do is with the orange on the left, in your left side, you're going to hold the connector with the little tab on the bottom, and you're going to carefully insert the cable as far up as you can go. If you have an easy connector, if you left some extra, it's going to stick out the end, and that's fine because our next step will get rid of that. And so now, as if you can see here, my gray part is well and securely inside of the connector itself because my connector ends right about here, but my gray part ends up right about here. That's very good because this is going to push down and keep it in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my crimping tool and I'm going to insert it in here. I'm going to firmly go all the way down until you hear the last click. Then you can release, pull it out, and that's one edge done, or one side done. I'm going to quickly now go through this second side so you can see what a complete cable might look like. So again, we're going to strip off the end of the cable. Not too much because we don't want to be wasteful, but just enough so we can have some room to work with. Hang on, I gotta go over this one again. It's not cooperating, I'm sorry. Forgive me, I don't know why this is being so stubborn. Okay, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use my crimper tool to help me strip my cable. Crimper tools usually have a blade on them, so I'm just going to use that. It's done. I'm going to remove my sleeve once again. And then I'm going to start by clipping off this extra end here just so it doesn't get in my way. Again, putting my trash to the side to keep it all in one spot. And then we're going to go ahead and separate all of our individual cables again. And I'm going to go ahead and take a shortcut and I'm going to organize these as I'm doing it now, just for sake of time. And one that can be tricky is getting your blue cables and your green cables to cooperate with you. Sometimes they can be a little difficult at times. And then once again, I'm using the B standard for making your Ethernet connectors. So this will be a straight through cable. If you want to make a cross through cable, which we don't really need to do it again now these days because we have our devices automatically detect which standard is being used and will automatically translate it to the correct device. And once again, we're going to start by straightening our cables after we get them in the correct order. And again, this is an orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, and then brown, white, and then brown. And I'm going to have to, mind, it's fine. So once again, we're going to cut just enough off here to leave us some headroom. Again, moving my trash to one area. Making sure that all of my cables are in their correct spots. I am then going to take my connector, tab side down, while my orange is on the left side. I am going to carefully and swiftly, because if you go too slow, then they can come undone. Carefully and swiftly get all of my little pins in there. Make sure it's nice and snug in there. Again, make sure that you have your casing all the way inside of your connector so that when you crimp it down, it's actually going to stay put. You see on the other side that I've already done, if I pull on it, it's not going to come out, which is what you want to happen. So then we're going to take our crimping tool, place it inside the correct part. We're going to crimp all the way down until you hit the last click, and then we can release. There we go. We have a RJ45 cable with the B standard on both ends.